The Sonic Movie Show is a weekly show that you can find on a variety of podcast services. Keep up with us by following our Twitter at Sonic Movie Show. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 6. No, not episode 6.
We're going back, baby.
Woo! Episode 76 of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that's about Sonic news, movie news, and Sonic movie news. My name is Ethan. With me, as always, is Devin.
I really am alone.
What's that from? Sonic?
Sonic movie? I don't know.
I guess that's from the Sonic movie. We watched that pretty recently.
I was going through my list, and I'm like, I don't remember. I'm at the point now where I don't remember which ones I have said. But I'm like, I know I haven't said the...
delete them.
I just Google it. I just Google it, and there's like...
I still
have 2 or 3 websites that I use to find my
76
quotes.
episodes later, and you're still just Googling Sonic quote? In any case, today we're actually doing some news, if you can believe it or not.
Ripley's.
There's not a whole lot for us to talk about, but some of our standbys we'll bring back up. Yes, we're going to rail on Xbox officially buying Bethesda now. Not really, but like that happened, right? But we're going back. There's some Sonic stuff. There is some video game movie stuff, some video game anime stuff, and Balan Wonderworld?
Wonderworld, baby.
Wonderworld. So why don't you hit me first with what you got, Devin? You looked up some stuff.
Yeah,
Sonic.
So a couple days before this recording, Sega Europe marketing managers, I pulled this information from SonicStadium.org, shout out to SonicStadium.org, but I also saw it on Twitter as it was happening, and some Sonic fans are freaking out. Basically, Sega Europe marketing managers gave employees these suitcases, which is it's just a cardboard box, but it looks like a suitcase. And it says, has like a letter that says travel documents that came with it. It has a bunch of stickers on the box, by the way. That has like Vancouver, London, Paris, Japan. When you open it, there is a boarding pass on Sega Skyways, one of my favorite airlines, for a date of March 18th, 2021 at 18:30. So it'd be, for us, I don't know what time that would be, earlier in the day.
That would have already happened.
Yes, and the passenger name was S.H. Hogg, flight number SH 2021. And this was posted on Twitter, of course, and people are freaking out. People are like, oh my gosh, March 18th, something's going to drop for the new Sonic game, because there's been rumors of a new Sonic game for what, like 2 years?
A year.
2 years now,
right.
At this point, since the movie came out. And everyone's like, oh, maybe March 18th we're going to get a new Sonic trailer or something. You know, the guesses were all over Twitter. And come to find out, this is straight from a PR and community Sega Europe manager. I now follow them on Twitter. Marila.
Does the show follow them? Do we follow them?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We do. And she tweeted, because she was one of the first people to tweet about it. She says, not to make you extremely jealous, but we have a Sega, parentheses, online event this week, and look at this. And she showed pictures of it. Then she responded later on that day saying, okay, y'all calm down. I feel the need to clarify that this is just a mini office party, nothing serious. This team is just amazing, and they make things look this good, even when it's just for us. So she kind of was like, look, don't get hyped. But to play devil's advocate a little bit, that's what I would say if I was trying to keep things under wraps, right? Like, drop a little hint, but not give them anything either. Like, be like, hey, by the way, we are still working on Sonic, don't worry.
That's maybe my thinking is this is a big strategic planning meeting about how they're going to be marketing the new Sonic game, right? Maybe we're at the phase now where, all right, we're ready to really show this game. We need to talk about our 2021 or 2021 fiscal year. Yeah, so it's yeah.
And she's on the
fiscal year's marketing for Sonic. Maybe
she's PR and community. So like this meeting could have been maybe just internally for maybe they do have the game almost ready and they were showing them stuff. You're like, hey, this is what the game's going to look like. We need to like come up with a campaign for our marketing team. We need to make sure we're all on the same page for our PR. Like that's stuff that people have to still do. And like they're not going to drop a new game and then be like, okay, how's the PR going to look? No, the PR team is going to work with the marketing team and is going to work with the people who are making the game to be like, okay, what stuff do we want to show? What things can we show? What stuff can we show on Twitter? What stuff can we show on Twitch if we do a Twitch reveal or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, these are probably ideas that are happening in this room.
That's the thing, though. We won't see a trailer until they've decided how they want to show us a trailer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, like, why would the PR manager of Sega Europe show this, and then you're gonna think, "Oh my God, new Sonic, this the 18th." Like, maybe we get a title at most, but like, they're not gonna. They probably don't know as. They probably know less, or no. Well, we know less than them, but they probably don't know as much as you think they would know.
Right. So it's Sega Europe.
Sega Europe. It's not Sega Japan. So I feel like this could just be. It could have just been. I mean, probably the more realistic answer is that she was just showing off how cool her job is. You know, look at this cool gift I got, and then she had to clarify, hey, look, don't think anything of this. Or it was a cool gift, yes, but also like, hey, by the way, Sonic's around the corner, baby.
So now that's my question for you, because I've seen the photos, right? Do you think that that's any indication at all about any sort of theming about the Sonic game, or is this just a fun office party theme gimmick? You know what I mean?
As someone who works in like a office and has seen this kind of stuff happen, there's definitely like we've had like potlucks that are like themed, like we did a Hawaiian theme or whatnot. This could easily just be like, hey, we've been stuck indoors for a year. Remember traveling? Yeah, we're gonna do a travel party. We're gonna pretend that we're all on first class and we're flying to Paris. We're flying. I mean, it could have been something like that.
Sega ain't flying us first class. So
You
we're
know
gonna
what I mean?
pretend
Just
we are
like-
anyway.
It could have been something like that. But the only thing that like the fact that they put SH 2021 just seems a little too on the nose for it to not to be like. This is like maybe like their meeting was going to be about Sonic or whatnot, and it is also.
My thing is maybe this is their yearly fiscal marketing planning meeting, and this is the 2021 one, maybe.
Yeah. Also, though, like I said, we're getting into like just not conspiracy theory, but just like 3 levels deep of just like, dude, they're trying to give us hints and stuff. I mean, it is kind of a little weird, though, that, like, even the company I work for isn't going to send me a pretty box with all this, like, messaging on it just for a meeting, either. Like, it kind of seems like just a weird marketing strategy of just, if you really care about Sonic and Sega, you probably follow these people, and they know that the employees are going to share this stuff, so they drop little hints like SH 2021 just to get fans excited, or because they haven't really announced anything.
No.
Besides the
Remember
Sonic
last
sequel,
year how we
but-
were supposed to get something on the 20th of every month? We actually had planned out that we were going to talk about that once a month on this show, and it was just like, oh yeah, February 20th,
Nothing
a game is out, like a re-release on Switch is out. March, nothing. April, nothing. May, nothing. So I guess they're done.
Yeah, so like maybe this is a way to like for the diehard Sonic fans, we're like really just itching to get something that this is like, hey, don't worry. Like, look, we're even planning marketing for it right now, so chill.
Yeah.
So I think it could be many different things. I still think the most realistic option is it was just a fancy box that they sent to all their employees, and they wanted to make it be like, hey, look how cool it is to work for Sega. Like I just think it could easily just be that, and we're all overthinking it. But I know it is fun though to dive into the what ifs and what could this be? Oh, this means this, But I don't think I personally don't think it's anything crazy. But if we get anything in the next 3 or 4 months, then maybe, and it is connected to like travel, maybe Sonic Around the World is the game title or something. It would just
be like so. This would be the second time in a row that Sega and Sonic have been like, what did Mario do recently? We'll do that too. Mario Odyssey went around the world. Fuck it, Sonic's doing that too. They did that like Mario Galaxy came out, and then a few years later. A few more years later, not really right around the corner, Sonic Lost World did the same kind of gimmick with like the weird planetoids, and he's running around and it kind of.
I'm saying you could do Sonic Around the World in 80 days or whatever the fucking that one movie was called. Just do that.
I mean, I've been playing, and I'm almost close to platinuming Sonic Unleashed as of the day of this recording, and like the title of that game in Japan is called Sonic World Adventure, because the focus for the marketing in Japan is the fact that here's a Greece level, here's an Africa level, here's a China level, here's an Italy level. But in America, it's he turns into Werehog. That's the marketing, hence Unleash, right? So they kind of already did that before, but I would love, like, yeah, if every single one of these Sonic games, each level is its own art stuff, its own type of, crazy spectacle. Literally, it's easy inspiration as you look around on the planet we're living on right now and see all that kind of stuff. So I would love to see that idea again. It's also worth pointing out, by the way, the day we're recording this is the 18th. So there is still like a couple hours, although if it's Europe, then no, they're asleep.
It's 4 a.m. there or whatever it is right now.
But you mentioned, like they're probably showing off like, oh, how cool it is to work at Sega. They must be really happy to work at Sega. Well, I know someone that did not find it cool to work at Sega and was not happy working at Sega. And his name was Yuji Naka, and he left Sega a couple decades ago, and his next game comes out next week.
There you go. That's one of your better segues, I think, on this show.
Thank you. I should have done it earlier after you said the line, but I held on to it, so I don't know if people forgot you said that. Balan Wonderworld, the upcoming Square Enix published game by his new studio, Balan Company, I believe is the name.
What is a Balan?
I don't know, because they showed a trailer for this game at Square Enix Presents, which was today, the day of this recording, March 18th, the day after most of us in America finally got our stimulus checks. Oh, and St. Patrick's Day was yesterday, too. They showed a trailer for it, and I'm not going to lie, all of the pre-release stuff we've seen so far has looked very corny. I stayed away from the demo and impressions on the demo because people were saying, yo, this is really bad. What the fuck is this game? But I'm going to come in with an open mind because I'm here for some really stupid, goofy shit. I am not even here for Sonic level of goofy shit. I'm here for really goofy shit.
You're here for Wonderworld goofy
exactly.
shit. All right.
This trailer did a better job, and I will say two reasons why in the marketing for it. I'm sure the game is probably going to be what the marketing for the game was before. Like, it probably what we saw and how it was presented to us in previous things is indicative of what the game actually is, I'm sure. But this new trailer they showed today had two things about it that I found enticing. It was like a CG trailer, for the most part, that was kind of showing the different characters and their plights, I'm sure, whatever their bullshit is, why they're unhappy, blah, blah, blah. But two things. Number one, they kept saying, welcome to Wonderworld, and it really made me think, oh yes, they're trying to make this, how do I explain this without having literally showing you the trailer? They got either someone that can do the voice perfectly or the classic animated film comedy announcer trailer voice guy to talk about this game. And I'm not going to imitate the voice, but think about any animated kids movie, and just like that's comedic to a degree. And this trailer voice, we all know the action trailer voice. Think about like the animated trailer voice, and this guy's talking about the game. And I'm like, this
welcome
clicks in
to
my
Night
head.
City. That guy. Just kidding. I know.
Exactly. Welcome to Skyrim. He's talking about the game, and it clicked in my head like, oh yes, I get it now. This is kind of the direction they're going for. A weird animated kids movie. Obviously, this is a kids game, and it looks very cartoony, so maybe it's not as a disconnect in my head as it should have been, or would have been, or was. But watching this trailer, I'm like, okay, the gameplay looks really stiff, rigid animations, and it does not look like it's all that fun at all. But like the presentation that they're going for is they're really trying to make a show out of it. And it feels like it's a little bit, I don't want to say cooler, but I'm a little bit more interested than I was before. I was going to get this game for this show regardless, but now I actually feel like, well, maybe I will have fun. Maybe I will spend $60 and
you'll
have
fun. Fun for like 2 hours, and then it'll be the same thing for the rest of the game, and then that's my
But
theory.
now, you just said you'll, talking to me.
You'll.
The thing they announced today, Devin, This whole game, baby, is fucking co-op. You're playing this shit
whole
with
game.
me. A whole.
Is
I
it
don't know.
online?
Actually, I don't know if it's whole game. They just said it's co-op.
So if it's some Monster Hunter World bullshit.
I'm sure it's just like any like Mario game or any 2-player co-op or 4-player co-op.
If it's
like
online,
Mario
that'd be
game where
huge.
you just press A on a new controller and Luigi jumps in. I'm sure that's all it is. But so this game is co-op, so we're gonna be playing it together. Maybe not the whole thing because we're trying to still stay separate. Maybe Maybe Devin will come over for like a day and we'll play a little bit.
I mean,
to both get
obviously
impressions,
COVID
but...
doesn't exist and the vaccine ain't real, so we can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
The only world I'm living in is Wonderworld.
But yeah, so
COVID-free.
I encourage you folks out there to watch the trailer and really try to see what I'm saying here. That it looks they're trying again. They're really trying. I think people forgot about this game, and then like people were saying that the game is bad because the demo is bad. I didn't play it. Give the trailer a look. I think they're really trying again. The game comes out next week, so we'll give more impressions about it later. So then that stuff was all announced at Square Enix Presents. But earlier in the show, when they were talking about the Tomb Raider 25th anniversary, they actually brought up two things. Number one, the Tomb Raider sequel, reboot sequel movie, the second one, the one that was supposed to be this year, that previously was announced was delayed indefinitely. They told us to look out for a talent update. That's all they said about it. They said it really fast, too. And to me, talent update, or just talent in general, implies people. And an update on talent for a movie that was supposed to come out last month, I think, suggests to me that this movie is going to be like a year or two out. Like they're recasting someone or they're rewriting this like crazy, like something went terribly wrong filming this. It's not a COVID thing. Like something went wrong making the movie and they're like redoing shit.
I'm trying to think of an example of one that's happened. I can't really think of
technically Sonic, but like that's not
talent
really
update. Jim Carrey is now being Eggman is now being played by Chris Pratt. You know what I mean? Just
That's the thing. Does that mean they they literally are recasting someone, or are they just adding them new elements? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so vague that it could be. Is that one member? Is that two new actors? Is it everybody is being recast?
Exactly. They're just redoing this because they called it the Tomb Raider movie sequel. So technically, that implies that it's not, hey, we're actually not making that movie. We're making just a new Tomb Raider movie from scratch. It
technically could be a sequel to Angelina Jolie's two movies. Technically. A sequel is still the next one in line, right? A sequel to the sequel.
I mean, I want to say they didn't wrap up her story. We finished watching that.
They didn't wrap up shit.
Her journey in January.
She saved the world, even though she started.
There wasn't anything else for them to show. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe they'll bring her in. You know what I mean?
Angelina,
maybe she'll be like
Angelina
the
is
grizzled
back,
adventurer.
and she's still rich.
Exactly.
And she
has more money than you, but she has problems. Don't you sympathize with her?
She's a Tomb Raider. Don't you understand?
And all her money. So the other thing they announced, they didn't announce it. They just mentioned it again. But to me, it was an announcement because I don't remember us ever talking about this or seeing it. Apparently, back in January, they announced a Tomb Raider anime for Netflix.
I feel like I would have seen that. I don't remember seeing that at all.
I had to look this up after the thing before the show. I'm like, oh, they announced that. Is there any information on it? And it turns out it's articles in January being like, so yeah, they just announced the Tomb Raider anime. It's a sequel to the games, the current games, I guess. So it's in that canon. It's that character, that version. Yeah, so it's a sequel to that. It's coming to Netflix. So I guess that's this year because this is supposed to be the 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider. So that's cool. I don't know if we're not going to review a TV show for this show. Maybe we'll watch it just when it's out and we'll give our thoughts on it. Like if it's convenient timing wise, but that's kind of cool. So
yeah. I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of video game anime announcements. I feel like Castlevania kind of kicked it off, which I still need to watch like the latest season because I watched the first two seasons.
I never watched the third one. And you know what? That same guy that's in charge of that announced when they announced the third season is happening. You know, when Netflix renewed it for season 3, they also announced that same studio and that guy are doing a Devil May Cry anime. And even though they are from separate game companies, they're going to connect these two anime worlds together. So that's kind of cool.
And also, I just remembered Resident Evil.
That's right.
Is coming out. The cartoon,
the Netflix one,
is coming to Netflix as well. So yeah, we're getting a lot of cartoon versions of games. So, which is kind of cool.
Their style for that is like a hyper realistic, like game engine cutscene levels of look,
which will be great. So I don't have to actually play the game. I could just watch. What if it's just all the cutscenes? They're like, we'll see if we can get away with it. We'll put all the cutscenes in from.
That is a very, very, very rare idea that I've seen only once, but I'm sure has happened somewhere else. Where like, hey, we took this game, and instead of HDifying it because it would either take so much work or end up it's not a fun game, but the story is interesting, we'll just take all the cutscenes and we'll use the engines that the tricks or tools we use to make those cutscenes, and we'll just make the entire game out of cutscenes. That happened once with a Kingdom Hearts game on DS for the HD version. It's just, here it is as a movie, so to speak. But it's still like cuts, like the character models are all blocky and all that stuff.
I know there's like YouTube. I've seen I've never watched them, but I've always seen like thumbnails from where they're like, Mortal Kombat, the 11 movie. Like it's just like, here's basically the entire cutscenes, which I guess could work because like Mortal Kombat 11's like story is like
it's in the cutscenes.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean.
It's not. They're not saying it mid fight or anything. You're not fighting.
As long as you
Jax,
assume
and he's like,
they fight,
we have this beef. Like, no, we're just fighting.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the thing. And also, the actual next Resident Evil live action movie is also this year. Ones that are supposed to be based off the games. So we reviewed Monster Hunter for last week. And after that, I would be like, good. I'd actually like to see someone make a video game movie that's actually based off the video games. And actually see that story, because it's kind of disappointing that we did not get like a Monster Hunter movie. We got a movie featuring monster hunters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you could even, that's kind of like what, I mean, so far with Resident Evil movies, it's been the same way though. Like it's loosely based on Resident
we
Evil.
just never finished them all.
Yeah.
We're gonna be watching one real soon, and we're gonna be continuing to watch those or spacing them out because there's a lot of them. And even like the animated ones, which we've seen some clips on of how ridiculous they are, we're spacing those out too because we know it's gonna be fun, but we don't want to like spoil ourselves, right?
Exactly.
So, exactly. Riddle me this, because we're gonna go back.
Oh,
to
Snyder Cut.
We'll talk about that.
Did it Batman? Did you get the connection? He said,
Jesus, I thought you were just like, oh, I remembered this thing.
No. I just thought I know you weren't trying to do a Batman thing, but that's where my brain went as soon as you said it.
I want to go back to Tomb Raider.
Uh-huh.
Because we saw the two Angelina Jolie movies. We have not yet seen the new movie that had come out a couple years ago.
2016, I want to say.
To me, it feels like it was like 2018. I think it's a lot more recent than
from like 2015 to like 2018 is a blur to me, man. I don't know anymore.
We did not see that movie. We only saw the two very old ones. So I don't know what the newest movie does or where they were going for in the sequel. I don't know. Pretend that what we've seen image-wise is kind of it. She's on an island, she's surviving, yada yada, the power of female commitment or something, blah 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 blah, right? It's based off the game, from what I heard, so to speak, the Reboot game, and playing that game, it's like kind of boring of like she persists and therefore she survives, and it's like, okay, cool, I guess. But riddle me this. If you, Devin, were making a Batman movie, a Tomb Raider movie, if you were making a Tomb Raider movie, and you were making a sequel to a Tomb Raider movie, rather, So something already happened, you know what I mean? A movie already existed. You're making the next one. And that first one is nothing like what you wanted. Maybe even apply this to the Monster Hunter movie from last week. But there's nothing like what you wanted, and you needed to start over even though you're halfway done or like 3/4 or almost around the corner from having this film come out, and you realize, damn, bro, we need to change this big thing. What would you do? What would your Tomb Raider movie be?
I'd hire Ryan Johnson because he did that with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Force Awakens is not really the same as Last Jedi. And I feel like he probably was like, I'm going to do this. So I would, first, if I'm saying I'm going to make the movie, so I'm like producing it, right? I'd hire Ryan Johnson and be like, yo, fam, that movie sucked, right? So we need to change it up. I trust you. So I would start with that. And then I would just be like, okay, that happened, but kind of like forget all that. Like kind of like a Thor Ragnarok situation. Maybe not like to that effect of like it literally in the beginning of the movie it just says, hey, remember all that? Yeah, that was dumb. Like I'm not going to do that, but like just be like it happened, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
If we make this movie fun, no one will care. And that's what happened with Thor Ragnarok. We made this movie funny and fun. No one cared about like any sort of like plot holes or just like tone shifts. You know what I mean? So I feel like if like they went for a super serious movie there and we wanted to make it more just fun, action, what I think the Uncharted movie will be, I hope this is what they'll be. It's just like, hey, we're just going to make this fun, not take itself too seriously, because Uncharted doesn't take itself that seriously. There's moments where it's serious, but overall, like, you know Nathan's going to survive in the end or save the day in the end. Indiana Jones does the same shit, right? Like, oh, isn't he gonna die? Hell no, dude. He's always 3 steps ahead. He'll figure it out. That's kind of what I would do.
How would you handle for the story the fact that she is super rich and therefore has no need to do any of the things that she does? You know what I mean?
There has to be some
because
sort of like
these Angelina Jolie movies, and I'm like, why is she doing any of this stuff? Oh, she's doing it for just the thrill of it. So and then, okay, apply that to the thing she's grabbing. Why? You know what I mean? So how would you handle that?
I would
aspect?
get rid of, because I don't know if she is rich in the games. Do we know that?
It's been a while. Well, she is rich in the originals, but in the reboot, I'm pretty sure it's
an Uncharted situation where like they're
her
probably
family
well
was
off,
very rich.
but they probably still need to keep doing this to like pay the rent for the year. You know?
Yeah, I think she
like
was recently
talking,
orphaned, so to speak.
We're talking
in
like
the games.
probably still like at least $500K a year because you're selling pure golds to museums or wherever you're doing, stealing from lands, pillaging
selling
lands,
pure gold to a museum. Yeah,
or wherever you're doing, pawn shop. I don't know if I can know what they do with it after. So I feel like I would just make the character be like. So, like I said, we didn't see the first one, so I don't know if she's rich in that one. If she is, I'll find a way to make her not rich. We'll write in a way that she like gets hit with tax evasion. She serves time. She loses her wealth, and she's like,
she
shit.
is based in the UK, right? Because obviously she's British, but like it's always England, right? They don't put her anywhere else, do they?
I don't know. Maybe she can. Maybe she gets caught somewhere, and the only way she can get out, she has to pay $1 billion, and now she's poor, and now she has to learn what it's like to be an everyday worker, and she's no longer a Tomb Raider. She's a shelf raider. She stocks shelves.
She's an Amazon warehouse employee.
Yeah, like she raids because she's one of the best because she knows where to find things, and then the warehouse is like a puzzle to her. And she's also a union buster.
Oh, she absolutely would be. Oh my god, you 100% would be.
I don't know. I honestly think I would just like I said, that'd be my recipe. Is just do a Thor Ragnarok or do a Last Jedi where like you can build off what the first one is, but you also can just quickly like dismiss it by just making it fun, or just doing a quick write in being like. She could even be like, "Yeah, I've changed since then." Is anyone going to care? No.
If the movie's fun and entertaining, then no. If the movie's bad, then people will use that. I don't think
people care that much about Lara Croft's. No one. no one plays a Lara Croft game for her character, really. They play it for the adventure, the fun, the thrill, like you said. And I think that's what they're trying to do in the Lara Croft things, but it's not as thrilling when you're not the one interacting with it. You're not the one who's actually jumping from cliffside to cliffside. You're not the one who's rich.
I feel like, too, these modern games, at the very least, they've never done anything besides the initial reboot. Like, hey, we're rebooting Tomb Raider. See what it looks like. Besides that initial thing, they haven't done anything that makes the games look interesting to people. You know what I mean? Of like, oh, this is why you want to see. Like, they've never really had a focus on like, we have this gripping story and narrative, and you'll want to see what happens. And like, people will buy a new Uncharted game because they know that is a cool aspect of the games, or you know what I mean. But like, that never happened with the Tomb Raider games, just because they never really marketed that. And I'm sure
That's
the
what
game
I'm saying,
stories
is like,
weren't all that great.
Maybe the story is good, and I don't know because I haven't played the games, but I don't remember ever being marketed to me as you're going to really care about Lara Croft by the end of this. It's more of just like, look how beautiful this game looks. Look at the stealth things you could do. Look at the action you can do.
Like, I know Shadow of the Tomb Raider was trying to be like, oh, she fucked up, and she took this artifact, and now it's going to cause the apocalypse, or whatever, and is she a bad guy? It's like, no, because she's killing all the non-white people on this island now, you know what I mean? Like, she's a hero. So, I don't know. But, personally, I feel like Tomb Raider needs another reboot, just in general. There had been talks in the past of trying to make her more of like the original character in terms of fun. Like, obviously she was very much a cornball looking goofy character that was a sex appeal thing first and foremost, really. And like, for the reboot, I would almost say they overcorrected, maybe, of trying to make her so serious and vulnerable, but she needs to persevere. You know what I mean? They just beat the shit out of her the entire game, and now she's strong.
You can do a Bayonetta style, I think. You could still make her sexy, but in a way that is tasteful and consenting. You know, agency. Yeah, that's right. The best way to describe it. And that would require, to me, hiring a bunch of women to work on this game and to direct this game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let's be real. I think the easiest way to deal with agency is to actually hire women to write women characters, you know, and express a woman in a woman way instead of a male way. You know what I mean? So like
that's the big conundrum with Bayonetta, is like, everything about her is, I would say, feminism, right? But like, also you can be sexy, blah blah blah. But at the same time, 100% of the team that worked on that game were dudes. And the camera angles is very much a male gaze camera angle. It's like, is this, you know, like awful misogynistic, or is it the exact opposite? I can't tell. You know what I mean? I really can't tell.
I think there's definitely criticism I could see of that, but also like, I would like to know more. I would have to like do research into like what women really think about that. How many women have played that game, and look at their thoughts. But like I said, the easiest way I think to like do agency, or to kind of conduct agency well, I think is to hire women. That just goes in the general thing of video games in general. I think there needs to be more women in gaming in all aspects, whether or not you're writing a women character or not. Just a different
diversity. It makes more voices, which makes more opinions, which makes more ideas, and therefore
art
makes
the games cooler when it's diverse. So, right. But yeah, I just go back to maybe it does need a reboot, because like, it's been how long since the first one, and I feel like no one remembers it. Like I feel like if I went up to someone in the street, I feel like I use this example every time we talk about movies, or how big something is. I always use this example, but if you really did went up to someone in the street, be like, the Tomb Raider movie, I bet you more people would be like, oh, Angelina Jolie, than I don't even know who acted in.
Whoever it was, she had a really long neck, and that's all I remember about her look. Is that, well, damn, she's got a really long neck.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't even know who directed the movie, who acted in it. I'm trying to look that up. 2018, by the way. Director is Roar Uthog. Alicia Vikander, Walton Goggins. I've seen him. Dominic West, Daniel Wu. Yeah, okay, so there's like some actors I know here, but I don't remember it. I remember when there was trailers for it, but once again, we're going to see it at some point. So hopefully, we'll be more informed on that. But yeah, maybe they need to just a full reboot, anyways. And I feel like they could get away with it now, then make a sequel, but also rebooting the games and all that. Like I said, we said this about Sonic though. The same thing was like use the movie as a chance to do a clean slate. The movie, everyone liked the movie. Movie was well received. When you're making a new Sonic game, you can base it off that. You have the framework there of what people liked about from that movie. You can build off that.
You have attention too. You know what I mean? Like there's attention. There's eyes on you. If anything, not doing it well makes it worse because like, oh wait, yeah, these games are bad. That's right. I forgot. Oof. Yeah.
What Tomb Raider needs, I think, is like maybe not the same level, but close to it. A God of War kind of reboot,
like it's a canonical reboot that still is in the same. It's like a sequel reboot.
Yeah, maybe if you really think that like what you liked from the newer games is cool, and you don't want to like tell those fans who like that stuff, oh, sorry, we're rebooting again. You can just do that kind of thing, being like, shit, dude, you can make it honestly the same thing. Lara Croft's all grown up, and she has a daughter, and you play as her daughter, and it's like, to me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that's just me spitballing right now for what took us. We've been here 40 minutes, and I just spatball that. I'm sure that's maybe come up in a writing room.
The issue is that God of War is one of the few games that does that doesn't feel like every single other fucking one of them. Like, it is kind of overplayed now of the father figure teaching child that's usually a man with a daughter type figure how not to be like him because he's been an awful person.
Well, I'm saying it doesn't have to be
God of War is the only one that's recent memory that did it, and it wasn't like the same tried and true tropes from BioShock Infinite and The Last of Us and Dishonored, you know what I mean, and The Walking Dead season 1. So I don't know if I want Tomb Raider to be like that.
I'm saying I was saying more of just like, or maybe Lara Croft is dead, but her daughter is trying to fill out her legacy.
Okay.
Because the Tomb Raider isn't Lara, like the title Tomb Raider could be anybody. Anyone can be a Tomb Raider, right? Lara Croft is a
game's
Tomb Raider.
Marketings have always kind of said that the Tomb Raider is a title. So
why not? Why have it be her daughter or her cousin or some shit? Or you could just be like, hey, this is the same world as this, but it's a completely different person. I think that'd be too far away from Lara Croft. I think people would still want Lara Croft, so you do like I said, a daughter, granddaughter, something like that. Because Lara Croft takes place in modern times, right?
Yeah.
So like, maybe that wouldn't work as well. Maybe you could do more of a futuristic Tomb Raider. I don't know what that would look like, but that's an idea.
For a while, they actually had 2 series going on. They had the reboot called Tomb Raider. Then they had these side spin-offs called Lara Croft and the blah, 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 blah. And they were not these large AAA third-person action games. They were more like top-down action puzzle-y type of stuff with co-op. And they were more fun. And the character design looked, at least the outfit was like the original kind of outfit with the blue and, and the khaki shorts kind of a thing. And like killing everything with pistols. Yeah. Essentially. Like for a while they were kind of doing 2 and 2. And they could do that again. Personally, I think the character of Lara Croft is interesting, and unfortunately, I feel like what makes it and her not interesting is the stories that they put her in. It just feels kind of boring and disinteresting, and therefore makes her feel boring and disinteresting. And she is the brand, right? The games are called, like, the original games are called Lara Croft Tomb Raider. And, like, even the original movies were called Lara Croft Tomb Raiders. People know the name Lara Croft. You know what I mean? Weird Gen X people that don't play video games know Lara Croft more often than you'd think. It may not, obviously not as much as they would know Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog, but that name for a while was like, oh yeah, video games, right? I think what they could do for the games, and then obviously tie them into a new movie franchise, change how she interacts with the world, who she is and what she does. She's the Tomb Raider, So we're sending her, she's going to lost civilizations for blah, blah, blah. But the framework around that can be less of like pulp, Indiana Jones, white person going to non-white ancient civilization to steal relics, even though there are people living there now that are descendants of that culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of that, which is weirdly distasteful, especially now, you change the framework of it. I think Lara Croft as a character is way more suited for a James Bond type of I'm an agent. You know what I mean? Put her in MI6 or something, kind of a thing, and she is being sent because the bad guys are going to get this thing or something, and you need to stop them. She's smart enough to understand these tombs and these puzzles. She's not going there to get something.
You can make her
She's
more of
going
like
there to stop something.
a hired archaeologist in that way. That with that idea is that like it's not like she's not doing this out of her not free will, her like her for pleasure necessarily. It's her job, it's her career. Yeah. Like it's people who are in the military who make good money but still have to, like that's their duty, is like, no, I'm still gonna serve till I'm 75 years old, you know. So like maybe to her she might be, you can still fit that whole like, oh, she has the money, but it's for her country now, you know. It's for her duty is to for some reason to just go into these tubes and save the day, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you could maybe tie in something like that for sure.
Because to me, like, it just feels like such a Debbie Downer always seeing these games and how she's always just getting the shit kicked out of her. And she's always muddy and gross because she's surviving. It's like, ugh. Like, there needs to be more of a level of fun to it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I say, like, I feel like they way overcorrected with the Reboot series of games of trying to make her a realistic and not I don't think like a woman object character, but it's way too just sad and not interesting to me. You know what I mean?
I think it's also like that was the Last of Us effect, where I feel like after Last of Us, a lot of games tried to.
Well, they came out the same year, the first one, and that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's still, again, like, I would still give you credit for that though, because Last of Us, as well as what Naughty Dog was doing with Uncharted the couple years prior, was catching on, where everyone's like, oh man, people really like these stories because the narrative and the acting is just like prestige HBO television. You know what I mean? Like, games are taken seriously with their stories if they're like The Last of Us, if they are serious. So for sure, that is what they were doing here. We need to make sure our woman is not called like a sex symbol. She needs to be small, you know, strong and independent, which is awesome. They just made her very uninteresting and boring. You know what I mean? She's not funny. She has no personality besides Survivor. You know what I mean? And personally, I don't jive with that all that well. And you know, so like obviously people always make comparisons to Uncharted and how Uncharted was based off of Tomb Raider to a degree, and the Tomb Raider then went right back around and based itself off Uncharted. But the Uncharted games had like a fun, even in situations where it's like dire and miserable and, you know, people maybe have died, there's still an element of like fun and adventure that Tomb Raider just hasn't had forever.
I mean, that's what it was in Indiana Jones. Like, Indiana Jones killed people, and like it was still just like cool, awesome, keep it going. Like,
I mean, that classic moment in the first game. You know, they're in the bazaar, they're fighting everyone. Him and Marion, I think that was her name, fighting people. And one like final guy comes out and he's pull out the scimitar and he's waving it around and blah blah blah. And Indiana Jones is just like, I have no time for this shit. Pulls out a gun and shoots him.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's hilarious.
I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. We're moving on now, right?
That's like, honestly, it's like, I think it's my favorite Indiana Jones moment is that, because it's just that's Spielberg right there, where like you play on the trope. And like Uncharted does a good job of playing on the trope sometimes, where like you expect something to happen, it doesn't happen, or they make fun of that trope. That's how you make a fun movie. Tomb Raider can do that. It can make fun of itself, being like something happens, and like they could maybe bend it in a way where it's like, yeah, but we're not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, and how many games now have had the tombs, essentially, these dungeons with puzzles and danger and enemies. Fucking Zelda does it all the time. There's tons of games that do that. There's tropes in this, the gameplay aspects too. Like, there are ways, like, they can, because people, every now and then you see these articles or opinion pieces that are like, oh, how do you fix Tomb Raider? Maybe it's just going to fade away. It's like, no, like, they just need to reboot it again, so to speak, you know. It's going to unfortunately be like Spider-Man in the movies where everyone's going to be like, oh, I'm tired of this. But until they hit it and they make it interesting and fun, we're just going to keep seeing it over and over again. They're going to make another movie and we're going to be like, I don't care if it's delayed indefinitely because it doesn't seem interesting.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I've only seen the Tomb Raider movies. I have not played any Tomb Raider games. So you could throw my opinion in the trash if you really want to, and that's
Feel
fair.
free to throw mine in the trash too.
But
I haven't played nearly as many as someone that would be making these bold claims should, but in any case, is there anything else to talk about, or are we kind of done? I don't
we're
remember.
done. But I know we wanted to start since it's a news episode.
Oh shit. We sing a song at the end of every episode. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say we do we were gonna do
Okay, so I understand what you're trying to hint at. I thought you were going to lead at the charge here, but
no,
I guess I
I'm
won't.
forgetting the words of what the fuck
Okay,
it's
so
called.
at the end of every news episode, we read a Sonic book. Now, it's been a while since we had a Sonic news episode or a news episode on the Sonic movie show, and it's been a while since we've finished the book, which was the last time we did one of those. We finished the official movie novelization about the movie we watched that the show is based off of. Yay, we finished it. Congratulations. Now, we're moving on to a new book that I'm waiting for Devin to grab because it's his turn to do it.
Oh, you want me? I know we both get one.
We both got one, but I remember we said that you were going to do it first since I was always the one with the book.
All right, so I do got it here. I actually use it to make my computer hum less. I put the books on the top of it because it like has a weird hum sound when there's nothing on top. Anyways, I have Sonic the Hedgehog, Mad Libs, World's Greatest Word Game. All right. This is I think because you got this for me a year or two ago.
It was a joke birthday gift along with like some mini Sonic encyclopedia thing. Like, welcome to the world of Sonic, stickers inside. It's one of those kinds of things.
I might need to get a pen because I don't know.
Okay, go get a pen. I'll explain what we're doing. Essentially, yeah, at the end of every news episode,
I have a
we read a
Sharpie,
book,
but that isn't gonna work.
but we finished the book. So now we're going to be reading official Sonic books to some degree. Eventually, we would like to do fan fiction. So if any of you out there have Sonic fan fiction, feel free to send it to us. Our Twitter is @SonicMovieShow. We'll only read them if we get consent from people because it's the idea of Sonic fan fiction implies that it's bad. We don't want to make fun of someone's stuff unless they consented to it. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any of that, send it in. But the time being, we're going to be bouncing back and forth between two Mad Libs books. Devin has a generalized Sonic Mad Libs book, and then I have one that's based off the movie. So every other week, every other news episode, we'll swap back and forth. So you'll be getting a Devin one today, and we'll be getting an Ethan one in the future during the next one. We found a pen.
Yep.
I explained what we were doing.
Okay.
So you're good to start.
All right. Do you want me to pick a random one, or do you want me to do the very first one?
Personally, when it's going to be swapping over to me, I'm just going to go down the pages in order. So you do whatever you feel like, buddy. I'm sure there's no actual order to them at all. Anyway,
because I'm kind of Team Chaos. I like the randomness of things.
Okay.
Nature is random, so I
now,
will.
Do you
pick
know
a
how a
one.
Mad Libs works?
I haven't done a Mad Libs in like probably 15 years, 16
So
years.
basically, there's that top page, right? And that's all the nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. You just read them off to me, and I give you the things, and then you fill them in down at the bottom in order.
Okay, so
I used to do these.
That's
in
all I
the
was confused
car
is like
all the time.
Because I was gonna say, I'm like, why is there two of the same? I guess I'll just write it in because you're just telling me. It doesn't really. I don't need to write it up top because Cause I'm writing it in here.
Yeah, because again, I think that's mainly because you can technically play them by yourself. I think that's supposed to be how it is, so that
Or play
you
it
are not
twice.
seeing context. But whatever. I mean, up to you. You just
right.
tell me what you want me to say.
All right, I need the first one. The first one we have here. I need an adjective.
Prickly.
Okay. That's a classic. Noun.
Pizza.
Plural noun.
Echidnas.
Shit, I don't even know how to spell that.
ECH.
ECHIDNAS.
Kidnas. This fucking fake Sonic fan over here doesn't know how to spell Knuckles' name.
I live off spell check. Adjective.
Pleasing.
Pleasing. Plural noun.
Clouds.
Adverb.
Sheepishly.
Sheepishly?
Sheepishly, yeah.
Sheep, like the animal.
Yeah. You know, kind of being like a little shy about it. A little sheepish.
Another adjective.
Enormous.
Plural noun.
I love the plural nouns in this. Podcasts.
Adjective.
Bright.
Verb.
It's what you do.
That's a classic right there.
That and please drink milk.
Yeah.
Support the dairy farmers. Verb. Growl.
Adverb. Been like no just nouns.
Right? Adverb. Triumphantly. No, wait, that's not an adverb. Yeah, is that? Triumphantly
I
dancing.
guess.
Triumphantly standing. Yeah, triumphantly.
Number.
8.
Adjective again.
Feathery.
I like how you're looking around your apartment trying to figure out things to say.
I see tassels on this rug. I'm like, that's a little feathery.
Verb.
By the way, when I said enormous, I was looking at my front door. Running. Run. Verb, run.
Noun. First noun. Your only noun. This is where you have to be really free form because you don't get too many nouns.
Right. This is going to be lame, but you know, I got to throw this in there. Chaos Emerald.
I'm going to start some new canon. Adjective.
Damn, this is still going.
3 more. Adjective.
Wet.
Another adjective.
Dry. Fuck it, let's shatter all expectations, you know?
And last but not least, a plural noun.
Rings.
All right, we're done. Hopefully this sounds correct. Every time I've done a Mad Libs, the grammar is either wrong or like I feel like it's off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's okay. This one is called Chow Chow. What could be more satisfying than raising your own prickly little pizza? Many find that these adorable little echidnas make the best pets. The chow come in many different forms and can be found hidden away in their many pleasing gardens with clean and pure clouds, where they live sheepishly in innocent bliss. These enormous creatures hatch out of podcasts and become bright with the right amount of positive attention, although forgetting to growl them or treating them badly can triumphantly cause them to go dark. Chow can be one of 8 alignments: hero, neutral, or even feathery. It's a classic Mad Libs there. They're like, put a number in because it's going to be wrong, and it's going to be funny then.
Right.
Because it's only 3. That's why I was actually hoping you would say 3, because I'd be like, right up, like, oh, you got it correctly. To make a chow run, it must first enter into a chaos emerald, and will then emerge more wet than before. Nice. Chow gardens can be found all over the world, such as Station Square or dry gardens. Chow can also absorb the abilities of the rings that they touch. The end. Copyright 2018 by Sega.
Damn. At first, I didn't realize it was about chows, like that little Sonic characters. I thought you meant chow chow, like eating.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. This learning some facts about chows I didn't know before.
Yeah, they come out of podcasts. So I guess we are Chows.
Fuck.
Wait, in a way, this Sonic Mad Libs is making our own Sonic canon.
Is this how we want to make it happen?
Yeah, it's
To the new Sonic canon?
we'll use Mad Libs to determine what are the
lore.
rules of the worlds.
We need to turn this into a tome. We'll continue this. Next time we do a news episode, we'll do one from me from the Sonic movie version of Mad Libs.
Oh my god, that one's probably going to be more wild, I think.
Like I mentioned before, if you write Sonic fan fiction, send it in. We'll read that too. Only if you say yes to that, though. The show can be reached at Sonic Movie Show. Ethan, am on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely. Devin is on Twitter at CURSONA. YouTube. Let us know what you think about Tomb Raider, its rebooted trilogy of games, its new movie, the anime that's apparently coming, and if you are going to buy Balan Wonderworld next week. We'll see you next time on the Sonic Movie Show.
We'll see you in the Wonderworld.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao, man. Ciao out.